All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Terence Crawford was feeling one yesterday, man, going off on Errol Spence Jr. and calling him out. Ain't no other way that you can interpret what he's saying. Let's talk about what he said and what he tweeted and what effect that might actually have on whether that fight happens in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. in the welterweight division. One of my favorite topics. You know, a lot of people in the media say it gets old talking about great fights that could take place, but it really doesn't get that way for me, man, because I think it's important that we talk about them, try to get it out there as much as possible, so eventually we will make the fights. Otherwise, you know, if you don't, you know what they say, a squeaky wheel doesn't get oil, closed mouth doesn't get fed. So we keep on talking about it. But in this particular instance, I'm really actually, you know, glad that I get to put something to rest. Terence Crawford, without a doubt, is calling out Errol Spence Jr. for a fight, and he's doing it in a way that I thought was very, very natural, very direct, very true to himself, and I appreciate it, man, because, you know, he didn't waffle about it. He didn't say, you know, I don't need the fight, this, that, or the other thing. He was pretty much just being himself on vacation and says, you know, he's out in the middle of I guess, I don't know where he is. It could be the ocean. He said, look, you know, he's in the water. He's like, look, I'm out here looking for big fish. Where you at, Errol Spence Jr.? Calls him a hoe ass, bring your hoe ass, you know. Like, I was like, okay, went Midwest on him, called him a hoe ass, asked him where he was, you know, all of that good stuff, and said, there's all kind of places for you to hide, man, out here in this ocean. You know, I'm out here looking for big fish, all of that good stuff, right? So, you know, I liked it, man. I really did like it. I liked it because, number one, he wasn't being circumspect about it. He wasn't, you know, some people were acting like he wasn't waffling before. It sounded like he's waffling to me, saying one thing, saying another thing. In this particular instance, he was being extremely straightforward about it, and I appreciate it. And then earlier this morning, he doubled up on that and sent out a text, sent out a tweet and said that, you know, he was, what did the text say? Something to the effect of, oh yeah, you guys should have fought me before I grew into the weight class. You should have listened and fought me before I grew up in the before I grew into the weight class, and now you guys are in trouble, and you know who's on my hit list. You know, I personally, I would have preferred him say Errol Spence Jr.'s name again in the tweet, but, you know, considering he went so hardball in the first one, okay, I get who you mean. It really seems like you're serious about it, and I'll take that, man. So hopefully we can get this fight going on. That is not going to, you know, however, you know, since he's in the mood to start calling people out, I hope also that he's really in the mood to sit down and try to make a deal that can take place, where the fight can take place. Because, you know, before, you know, it wasn't just, you know, he didn't ever sound like he was totally unwilling to have the fight. Just sounded like, you know, with the monetary issue, the 50-50 or 60-40 in my favor, if that was going to happen, that was going to be a barrier to the fight. It may still be a barrier to the fight if, you know, they're not willing to negotiate and come up to something fair. As far as or something that would work and where both parties feel like they have been compensated fairly and compensated in a way commiserate to what they're bringing to the fight right now, because I don't actually believe that Errol Spence Jr. is the type of dude that is going to go in there and first of all, Errol Spence Jr. is the guy that's going to fight Terence Crawford. Ain't no doubt in my mind that he's a guy that wants to fight him, will fight him, says he's wanting to fight him, right? He said his strap season, the WBA belt, which Ugas has, is going to be locked up for a year. Derek James has said that Errol Spence Jr. said he wanted the fight next, right? The question would be whether or not, you know, Errol Spence Jr. wants to take a tune-up, or whether his team really convince him to take a tune-up and get a little bit more active before they fight Terence, which to me makes a little bit of sense, seeing as he had a car accident. He took a bit of time off, had a car accident, came back, fought Danny Garcia off the car accident, and then took off another period of time with the eye injury, just to make sure that he gets out there and he, has got all his oil, got all his bearings oiled, or whatever, whatever the saying is, that he's all the way back and, and ready to go. I think more than likely they should take a tune-up fight. But I'm excited about it. Errol Spence Jr. had also said something, in a Instagram feed. I'm still trying to get back to the Instagram feed where he said it, because these things get, for me, I don't understand Instagram as well. I have to get somebody to show me how you can go back and actually look at some of the older Instagram feeds. But he was actually talking very recently about the fight with Terence Crawford as well. So, and I think that if these guys really do want to make a big mega fight, that is the big mega fight to make. Now, I still believe, from a style standpoint, that I favor Errol Spence Jr. in that fight, just provided that he's healthy and everything is going, and that he's not, that he really doesn't have a lot of rust on him. He came out and fought Danny Garcia in the last fight, and he said that he felt like he was only, I think what he said, he felt like he was 60% or something like that. I don't know if it was a ring rust thing or whether it was, just him getting his body back from after the car accident. And also before that, he wasn't, he had made admissions about him not staying in shape between fights. From what I can see of Errol, like, he seems like he's already been back in the gym, that he's working out, that he's staying in shape. So he should still be feeling really strong, or is at least, he's not suffered any additional damage to his body or punishment over his body, to the majority of his body. Of course he had the torn retina on his eye, which is considered wear and tear, but I don't think it's anything that is going to affect his strength or going to affect his power in there. I honestly, man, when I've said this before, I'll be interested to see how long Errol Spence Jr. stays at 147 pounds, because I think he may be pushing towards the end of the time where he gets into, where he really gets to the point where it's hard to make weight, needs to move to 154. But on the other hand, man, it seems like he's very, very comfortable at 147 now. He feels like he's used to 147. He says he's grown into the weight class. I'm not sure how you grow into a weight class when you get into the weight class when you're over 30. You know what I mean? Maybe it's weight, strength, and all of, strength and conditioning is what he means by that. But, whatever the case, man, is, I'm really glad that just to hear Terence Crawford say that he wants that fight and say it in a way that is unequivocal, because now I don't have to have a lot of arguments and debates with people in the comment section, because I'm somebody that is very, very literal. If you say that you don't need a fight, and then you say, well, you know who I want, but I don't need that fight, I'm going to say it doesn't sound like you really want that fight. But when you were running around in an ocean saying a guy's name specifically, telling the guy not to hide, saying that you're looking for him, then I'll start to say, okay, obviously this guy wants this fight. But again, the question for me is going to be, are you going to want to do it when you get to the negotiation table? Or are we still going to be stuck on this 50-50 on this 50-50 split with the money? Or will they be stuck on that 50-50 split with the money? Because it's honestly, man, it's just not going to happen in that way, because he's a great fighter. He's just not done the things necessary, specifically selling pay-per-views necessary, or on par with what Errol Spence Jr. has done. But anyway, all in all, love to hear it, man. Certainly hope we can push and people continue to talk about the fight, try to push the fight to completion, because, the last 4 months in boxing have been very, very good, man. And I got used to seeing good fights every weekend, and I really hope that can continue. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.